Man, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So Peacemaker's over, and I gotta give it to James Gunn. I have to give it to James Gunn. He has a knack for taking obscure and weird, goofy ass characters and turning them into just treasure. Like, for instance, the Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Guardians of the Galaxy has had a run for Marvel Comics forever. But for the most part, they were relegated to a B team. And what I mean by that is before the MCU came out, certain characters were B tier. Captain America, Falcon, Iron Man. These characters were B tier. Like, the Avengers were there. But in comparison to like the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man and what the fuck did I just the X-Men, they were a B tier team. The MCU came out, elevated their profile. Took the Guardians of the Galaxy, elevated their profile. Came over to DC, did the exact same thing with his version of the Suicide Squad, which is fantastic. If you have not watched it, go and watch it. The Suicide Squad movie, not David Ayer's cut, because we don't know what David Ayer's cut looks like, is way better than the first Suicide Squad movie. It's a joy. And from that joy came Peacemaker and John Cena. But along with Peacemaker came Eagly and Myrn. So let's talk about Eagly. He's a giant fucking bird. And Eagly is one of those additions to a show that the second you see it, it's like, if anything happens to this bird in any way, shape, or form, I'm going to kill the person that harmed this bird. Instantly became a fan classic. And I just love the way in which he interacts with John Cena's Peacemaker, which is he's a sense of comfort. It's kind of like Eagly is the embodiment of his childhood innocence, which there is a theory running around that Eagly is actually the reincarnated form of his brother who died, but that's a discussion for another day. But he's always there to comfort essentially Peacemaker when he's going through his emotional turmoil. Like, for instance, when he was dealing with the emotional fallout from killing Rick Flag and dealing with his father, then having to kill his father. Eagly was always there to essentially give him the emotional support, like an emotional support dog that he needed. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But then on the completely opposite spectrum, we had Myrn. Now, when Myrn first pops up, I didn't give a shit about Myrn because I felt like he was essentially the TV show version of characters we'd seen before. He was basically a watered down version of Rick Flag, Bloodsport, and Deadshot. It's like, here we go, the mercenary guy with a ton of skills who's gonna lead the team and then get betrayed by Waller or some shit along those lines. No, like, he starts off that way. He starts off generic. But as the show progresses and you learn his secret that he's a butterfly, essentially the butterfly that revolted against all the other butterflies, you realize that this dude is multi-dimensional. Like, he showed up on Earth and was like, we're just gonna hide out among the humans. And then his people started essentially killing and taking over the bodies of humans for an invasion because they believed that they could control the human race better. And I love the sense of conflict, or the emotional conflict that happens when he's outed as a butterfly, because essentially, I can't remember her name, Waller's daughter says something on the lines of, well, you killed that guy. And he's like, yes, I did. And in killing him, I felt every single thing that he has ever done. I felt every single time he has ever been afraid or scared, and I've also seen all the memories of all the people that he has killed. And he basically tells you, like, this person is not a good guy. I chose this body because essentially this person was a piece of shit. And I was like, you know what? I would accept that. Like, if there was like a rehabilitation program where you had somebody who's legitimately a fucking monster and there was a peaceful butterfly who just wanted to kick it, eat human food, and make friends, I'd let him crawl up that person's ass. 100%. If it means that I'm going to get somebody interesting in return for a douchebag piece of shit who's going to spend the rest of his life in jail, absolutely. Go ahead, crawl up that guy's ass. But, oh my god. But then, like, the emotional shit happens when both of these characters get injured. Like, when Eagly gets hurt by White Dragon, I'm like, you son of a bitch. You were raising that fucking bird the entire time when John was in jail. And this is what you're doing now? But then, on the complete flip side, like, Mern has his final stand, and there's a moment when you think he's gonna get away, where he's, like, slowly... He comes out of the body and he starts slowly flying away. And then he gets snatched out of the air, and she's holding him, and she crushes him. And you could tell that not everyone was on board with that decision, because everyone else in the room was like, what the fuck was that? Like, we don't kill our own. And she's like, well, he was defective. A soldier passed his I forgot how she phrased it. She was like, he was a soldier past his time, or a relic from another era, or some shit. And you could tell that it doesn't sit well with them, that decision. Killing humans and enslaving them, that sits well with them. But even they felt how I felt. But then the emotional damage happens literally 3 seconds later, when Harcourt comes in and she picks him up, and like he looks up in his butterfly form, and he looks up at her and he raises a finger and he touches her finger, and it was kind of like he was saying, keep going, don't stop now. And then he dies. And I was like, James Gunn got me here at 4:30 in the morning, ugly crying over a fucking butterfly. He has me crying over a butterfly and afraid that a CGI eagle might die. Give this man Justice League International. Not Justice League. Don't give him Justice League. I don't think James Gunn would do Justice League good, but he excels with quirky teams. Give him Justice League International. Think about it. Booster Gold, Blue Beetle, Ted Cord, The Question. James Gunn would kick so much ass making a Justice League International show. Guy Gardner? What? You're telling me you wouldn't have a blast with all of that? What? I would have a blast with all of that. Look, DC, I don't even know if you guys watch my videos. You're probably like, I fucking hate this guy. He talks shit about us like on a daily basis. Only because I want you to be the best version of yourselves. So that other people can see that the best version of yourself is better than anything out there. But at the exact same time, go ahead and give James Gunn Justice League International. I think Justice League International would be baller as shit. I think he would knock it out of the park. If you agree with me, comment down below. If you disagree, tell me what team in DC you would love to see James Gunn tackle. Like, for me, I really feel as though he would do a good job with Justice League International, but at the exact same time, I really think he would also do a good job with the Green Lanterns. Like a big core movie with all the different core members, I think he would do a fantastic job with that as well. But comment below, let me know, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.